What is my expectation with respect to interest rate, with respect to exchange rate, with respect to GDP growth rate? I will leave it at those three and then conclude. For interest rate, the CBN governor indicated that CBN is now going the way of orthodox monetary policy, which means no mission drift, as we had during Emefiele's era, because CBN was on mission drift at the time. Okay? This time around, no mission drift. So if they are focusing on orthodox monetary policy, then that will suggest the likelihood that CBN will tick up the MPR in order to close the gap between it and inflation rate. But again, we had Mr. President made a remark that this government wants to encourage consumer credit. And if you want to encourage consumer credit, then interest rates need to go down. Which is why, in my interpretation, ordinarily, if CBN will go orthodox, as Reserve Banks and Central Banks have done all over the world, especially in the last 3 years of normalization, we will expect CBN to mark up MPR in order to deal with inflation. But of course, the policy pronouncement on consumer credit, which the president also said will require interest rates to drop, will mean CBN is also watching the other side, which is like what the body language of Mr. President. And so we may therefore not see MPR go up significantly. In fact, that also is on the back of a monetary policy committee reconstituted. So that committee has not met. Last 3 dates they were supposed to meet. So my interpretation of that is MPR may not likely change. But if it will change at all, that change will happen only the first half of this year. And so second half of this year, we expect MPR to go down. Okay? That's on the one side. Exchange rate. Yes, different entities have done expectations of exchange rate for Nigeria. If you look at JP Morgan, you look at the World Bank, IMF, the one that is frightening is EIU, Economic Intelligence Unit. Because they said, if you continue with this unified exchange rate, we may see Naira go to 2,000 Naira to $1. But I now said, hey, it may not necessarily work out that way. And why do I not expect it to go that way? Number one, as bankers, there are 12 factors we watch to form our own opinion about the direction of movement of exchange rate. One big one there is what they call significant utterances of key government functionaries. And so we take from what Mr. President is saying, we take from what the finance minister is saying, we take from what the CBN governor is saying, and then we look also at the budget. Budget assumption, 800 Naira to the dollar. And then we look at all these other indications. Some time ago, the finance minister said they expect Naira to set in the range of 650 to 750. Before they came up with budget assumption of 750, that now assembly ticked up to 800. Okay? So, but looking at how the market has behaved between June 2023 and beginning of this year, we have, an outlook of an average of official rate around 900 Naira. Then, the pattern is this, and I will use a quick illustration we relate with. Typically, anytime there's a major shift or disruption in any economy, a new equilibrium is created. And that was what happened when first subsidy removal was implemented. That's the way I would put it. When it was implemented, for those of us living in Lagos, you must have observed something. There were fewer vehicles on the roads initially. But as soon as people got used to the new prices, we entered a new equilibrium. Vehicles returned to Lagos roads. The traffic jam that we knew before again returned. So in which case, once you get to a new equilibrium, everything settles. So and that is what is driving our own outlook on the exchange value of the Naira. We don't see it at the parallel market going beyond 1,235 Naira to the dollar. That's our expectation. It can't go beyond that. All right? Yes, it may tick up, but we return to that level. And we've seen that play out, episodically. So we then look at what is the major driver of that, the supply of the market. And that's where I'm sure First Bank will connect with you as its customer this morning. And that is the deliberate promotion of export. In fact, for me, two critical things. One is manufacturing domestically. The other one is export. And there are so many opportunities in the export value chains. And of course, I remarked to Tosin earlier also when I came into the hall that First Bank is the first financial institution in Nigeria I'm aware of. Maybe I don't know enough. Okay. That would deliberately encourage its customers in non-oil export. Because I was involved in that discussion. And that was 2 years ago. Before the idea even became, well, I won't mention the name of the bank. There's another bank, international, in nature, that now copied what First Bank did. Only October last year. So in my mind, I said, okay, First Bank is truly the first. So now, in conclusion, what I see more is an economy that will likely grow at about 3.47%. The World Bank indicated 3.3% in the GDP published 2 days ago. But we in BAA Consult see 3.47%. IMF probably will come later and revise their own also in their outlook. And of course, different other entities. But everybody is projecting this economy to grow at about 3% this year. And the message to you then is that if the economy you're operating will grow, why don't you also think of what to do in order to grow your business? Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen.